everybody, because I believe this is our first Game 5 of HGC Phase 1 Part 2. Is that correct? I think so.
You said so many very narrow and well-titled words that I honestly do not know.
I was wrong. Freedom and Superstars went to Game 5, but I am pumped for this one. No Tomorrow bringing it to Gale Force eSports. The first team to even take games off of Gale Force, let alone put in the ropes a little bit here.
It's just, it's so crazy to even think about. Like, again, because we had an argument yesterday out of all the things that we've seen from everybody just being like, you know, where do they fall when it comes to strengths? If everybody had to play in a tournament today, where would you rank everyone on the teams? And I put No Tomorrow pretty high on my own, and you kind of felt the same.
Yep.
You know, other people were like, no way, not even a chance. And the fact that they are able to do this here, going even to Game 5, is a win for them. Now, winning the series would be just mind-boggling.
And maybe even a little win for us and bragging rights when we go up in the back later on.
Just bust some nerds. Be like, it's almost like I've talked a lot about this video game before.
Let's fight out the battleground. We had a lot of questions. It's Cursed, Warhead, Sky Temple left. Where are we going?
Give it Cursed.
No Tomorrow, says Sky Temple. I will say, though, No Tomorrow they didn't choose it. Naventic chose it, but No Tomorrow busted out a great strategy on Sky Temple versus Naventic. That's where they executed them. That was the final game.
the good old Mercy.
The execution move.
Yeah.
It was a good game for No Tomorrow.
It was. It just... The main reason I wondered it wasn't because it would be like, would No Tomorrow get an advantage? It's just more of, I like to see Gale Force when they're under pressure for decision-making based on the fact that ever since they brought on Fan, right? That was the #1 criticism you can put towards them, is consistency in decision-making has been pretty hit or miss depending on the game. Some amazing, flawless, other times beyond passive. Conveniently, the first time that ever really happened was on Sky Temple, and they've made a lot of really great changes. So now it's like, when pressure is on the line, that is like, do you really still have those tools? Because for me, I think anybody can. Shot calling is easy, honestly. It feels like a lot of the times, like, unless you're doing really micro things to make decisions to lead a team, just be like, you know, go here. We want to be doing this. This is what we're going to be doing. But when pressure is online, when the games matter, suddenly communication, not just shot calling, leading communication, infinite difficult. Communication for the whole squad, terrible. It is so much harder to get away. I mean, it might be one of those things that you can't totally convey properly until you experience it, but it's just like even one kill early game and how the guy goes, I'm dead, could be enough, and it's just done. Like, it
just shuts off.
It's done. Yeah, it's everybody's communication dies down naturally when you're losing or when things are you aren't optimistic. Everybody will tone down. So then how do you build communication with the intent of it being efficient and also benefiting the conversation rather than this guy's only talking purely because he realizes we're all tilted, right? Like, there's a lot of weird things that come into play, and I think pushing Gale Force to Game 5 might bring them to light.
Especially because momentum when you go into the 5th game is so important. It's all about who won the last game too, and it's No Tomorrow who withstood 2 games of losing and was able to bring it back. A team that is supposed to be tiltable, brought it back, and now they're the ones going in with the momentum.
Yeah, and it's momentum is a weird beast because if everybody was like robotic and no emotions were into play, you very comfortably could be like, this is just one game that decides the series, right? But the momentum will carry over from the 4th game over into the 5th most of the time, even though when at an end of the series, if you were to ask whatever one of these teams ends up losing it, you go, what, you know, like, you were like, well, we could have done this in the 5th game, but they'll point out multiple points of the series where they could have gotten over it. Again, showing every game matters for a series results, but it still doesn't change the fact that when you get to Game 5, you always go, so much pressure here. Like, you just build it up to be anything and everything, even though you could be like, you know, if I cleanse this in Game 4, we wouldn't be here. It's easy as that. It's just, I love that part about best of 5s and what it provides. But Gale Force here, they've got the fall stat. They
do have their fall stat. Do No Tomorrow get their Dahaka?
Ooh, see, this is where Urho's been making waves a bit on the, you know, the Arthas and on the Murden. I didn't hate his Arthas. I feel like the team didn't work well with it. I would have liked to see the Arthas over the Murden here. I didn't think there was any way they'd do both. But conveniently enough, they gave Fan his sweet Zeratol. I don't think there's any way they made it. Like, it does not go through this rotation. I think there will be a Gale Force going, pick me Zera. With Falstad, too much control. already showing to be at least one person vulnerable on the other side of the battlefield.
You think they get Zeratul, Arthas, and then ban Dahaka?
You could go Zeratul, Arthas. I don't think you have to. I like it. I think it's probably the most powerful rotation here. But yeah, and then yeah, ridding of Dahaka would be really good. I don't even know if you have to ban the Dahaka in this case. They go for the Mouth instead over the Zeratul. I was thinking Mouth Zeratul probably, just because again the focus onto those supports, but I really did think that they were going to pick that up. But I mean, Gale Force's draft is about as scary as it gets right now.
It is.
No Tomorrow's is vague. It's not bad. It's just not got enough heroes to kind of see where it's headed. They will struggle in the world of supports, because Gale Force here most likely is going to set focus to a ban on one.
What are No Tomorrow going to ban? Is it Zeratul? Are they scared of Zeratul?
I would ban it. I would 100% ban it. And we talk about what that does for Malf all the time, but then into more CC for boss control, but then more importantly, Arthas, like the only way I don't ban this, I ban a support, and I'm worried about double support, double warrior.
I was not expecting a Tychus ban.
I would have either Lucio or Zeratul in that situation out of fear of the double, or maybe not Lucio, but I don't know. Just if you're really, really, really afraid of the double support, double warrior, that would be the place to try and rid of it. Gale Force, going to ban out the Lucio itself.
Predictable.
Considering the Malfurion ban, or pickup. It is, man, dude, looking at the drafts from all of Part 1, Week 1, and then Part 2, or Part 2, Week 1, and Part 2, Week 2, it's just astounding at how quickly everybody goes, no, we kind of agree on some of the things. You know, it's just 1 week of scrims, and suddenly everybody has the same mentality. Because, I mean, before this was, I have the same predictions now that I had in Week 1 and into Week 2. The same thought process for almost all the draft and the priority, but suddenly they're all, you know, slowly getting figured out. I just find that it's more of a cultural thing than it is a professional gaming thing, but more just questions that go by my brain, I guess. Gale Force has the Vala. They have, or No Tomorrow has the Vala and the Murden. What is going to be the best with the Falstad? I immediately think Dahaka, but it hurts their team fighting so much. Zagara is not the go-to.
I think it'll be Dahaka and then Tree's hero. Oh,
they take it themselves.
Okay, Zeratul for Casanova. And Karzim.
Oh, man. For Tiger JK. Last time he played Karzim with Divine Palm, I believe he missed almost every palm that game. I just remember not being impressed, knowing that he's one of the few North American supports who go into palm. But this is a comp where you could get a bit more away with the 7-sided.
There was the one that almost connected because of the living bomb.
That is true.
So
that
close.
was a weird situation where it's just, that one is hard to yell at the support because he had 1 second to throw it out. He did, and it was just like, well, hopefully it saves you. For the back 2 picks of Gale Force eSports, though, do they commit to the double warrior and double supporting here? It makes a lot of sense. It wouldn't be an Ariel, and with Lucio removed, probably not. I don't view Malf Rhaegar as an outstanding double support.
Man, I'm really interested in who they're going to get. Is it Lee Ming
Greymane
for
and something. Greymane and something.
Lee Ming
No
Tyrael.
way. No way. Oh, baby. How do you stop this? Do you? I don't think you do. Arthas Tyrael? Probably. I think I put Arthas and New Barak as the highest double warrior, and then Arthas Tyrael is the next highest.
Looking at you, Trees.
How does No Tomorrow cover? It's got to be a backliner. It doesn't have to be. I want it to be a backliner, and just look for all-in burst blow up when Void goes down. Who can do that best? It's not Dahaka. I think it's still, I'd still take, I think Greymane even in this. Just because you have the Zeratul, you need the double backline. Karzim works best when you have most squishies. They go for the Lunara. What do you think about that Lunara?
Seems more comfort-based.
Yeah.
For No Tomorrow.
I'm just going to say it. Gale Force has absolutely top-decked and wrecked this draft. It's going to be hard for No Tomorrow to win this game. Like, really, really, really hard.
Yeah, I'm looking at how they have to take team fights and sort of having a difficult time figuring it out. I think one of the best things going for No Tomorrow is
No Tomorrow.
From the start, they have good starts to games, right? They start games well.
Yeah.
So if they can do that, I feel like they have to do that.
Conveniently, that tweet came up right after I said I lacked all faith. It was No Tomorrow tweeting at me saying, "Thank you for having faith in us." And conveniently, right as I said, Gale Force bodies you in a draft, we're just going to throw down that. Yep. Sorry. Well, but thank you very much for the tweet. And you guys at home can tweet at us with the hashtag HGC. Me and Gilly specifically always like asking you guys, synergy names because you guys are far more creative than we are.
That is true.
Like, what do you there's nothing cool in this combo, in this game, where I'd really, like to see what do you call this. But, well, I guess the Gust into the Twilight Dream, we've seen that enough to where I would like to know what you guys' thoughts on that would be.
All right, Mighty Gust into Twilight Dream. Tweet using the hashtag HGC. Let us know what that combo is going to be.
But Gale Force in this draft, Gilly, I just want to hear your thoughts because I feel like this is – I have never felt like I've seen a team with all Tier 1 picks and a team with so few or like just period in my life.
The one thing for Gale Force's draft is, have we seen them use Tyrael super effectively before?
No.
That's the one thing for me that I'm looking at.
Yeah, I agree. Most North American Tyraels are pretty meh, but Gale Force, when they draft Tyrael, it felt like they were always winning their games, but it was never because of a Sanct. It was always just like the cross-supporting, the mobility from Smite and Tyrael just being a good hero was really enough. And just having, such a well-rounded, absurd composition like they have in this game, I agree with you that I don't feel like the Tyrael point's on point. But, like, do they need it, though, in this draft? Like,
everything else is so strong and a comfort pick for them. It's like the double whammy for Gale Force eSports. I agree. The draft looks great for Gale Force eSports, but every time, No Tomorrow, we feel like, I don't know about this draft. Then they surprise us early game. So that's what I'm looking for, No Tomorrow. I'm calling you out. Let's see if you can do it. Let's see if you can beat Gale Force eSports. Let's go to Sky Temple for Game 5.
Level 1s are what we would expect across the board. Going into this game, I still think it's got to be a Palm with a Lunara, a Zeratul, and a Vala. I originally was like, if you go another beefy hero, you can go 7-sided, CC locked out, try and take out one of the tanks, but when you pick 3 squishies, Karzim has to be going into the Palm.
This is a different Tyrael player than what we've had before. I don't know if we've ever had a Tyrael from Fan. So I am excited to see how he handles his Tyrael. He's on the pleb mount, so...
I will say that makes me excited to know Fan is the Tyrael.
Me too.
Fan is one of the few melees that exist in North America where when you say he's playing a high-impact hero, I go, good, you have a lot better odds of winning the game if he is on those heroes. He just has very good game sense, rotations. Obviously, the micro play is there. But everything else about him, it's just he makes those high-impact plays on the Zeratul when he needs it, the Illidan's, the melees. But he's also, I think the biggest thing, like a difference between what separates, Fan and, like, for instance, Glorong, would be the fact that when it comes to, you don't look at heroes as Fan heroes. It's more if he plays whatever's meta and he plays it really, really, really well, rather than hoping the meta kind of conforms around him.
Lunara has picked up a different level 1 talent. That's Cruel Spores. it lessens Crippling Spore's cooldown and mana cost if it's just used on minions and mercenaries. So more of a laning Lunara. She doesn't have natural perspective, and that was a choice that was good versus Zeratul, but with Zeratul on her team, she has that difference of choice for a pick, but it's not something we see too much, so I wanted to point it out.
The root. Jason makes it out with Tiger JK. A couple of shots were captured there by Urho on mid, but for now, it's all about the shots here. Falstad and Lunara matching each other in the 1v1 on bottom. Obviously, Falstad, when he flies, will give the team the advantage. Ooh, the collapse here up on top.
This game, more than any maybe, is our chance to see how Casanova deals with pressure. He's a new player to HGC, to Professional Heroes. He was a dorm player last year, and with so much riding, does he have another dash?
He doesn't yet. He was actually buying the cooldown. That was really safe, because then he moves upward in case things get hairy. Ooh, talking about getting hairy. Krone gets stunned out. Casanova's there, but the peel from Equinox.
With so much riding on him, being able to land important Void Prisons in the fight, especially versus Tyrael, how much experience he has in that weird skill matchup of Sanct versus Void Prison. We'll see how Casanova does.
Yeah. That is a really good point that you bring up, especially against, you know, the direct counter or the skill matchup that is Tyrael versus Zeratul is against legitimately one of the most experienced players in the entire North American scene.
Yeah, that is the other scary factor, let alone the rest of the composition.
So we see No Tomorrow put emphasis onto the giant pressure early game, but Zeratul ended up backing out. This is where I thought we would see No Tomorrow do, you know, kind of set their play style, be very offensive in this middle ground time between the first and second Shrine phase. But they seem to reside rather patient, you know, passive. They do get a 3-man collapse. Let's see if they get more offensive when they see that this night camp is taken.
They start to step up. They want to keep this giant camp as healthy as they can. Try to get the tower at least. It's very low.
So No Tomorrow will be behind on really everything for a small period of time. With that night camp pushing up on top, they don't have the global. Gale Force does, so they can decide what they want to do with their giants, if they want to baby the knights, if they want to not. That was a risky play by Gale Force, though, going for the early night camp. Knowing that they have a Falstad on their team, typically you want to be as late as possible.
Yeah, so that it can push along with the Bruiser camp while the rest of the team is hanging out in the bottom lane around the second temple phase.
Yeah, and but knowing you have a strong lane matchup is a way to not need the Falstad. Having Arthas into anybody you know he just can really, really abuse in a lane. Wow. Urho doesn't make it out. Fan with that max range. Eldruins, they're going to be able to get the kill.
First kill of the game, first blood claimed by Gale Force eSports. And they'll get a tower and start working on the next one with the giant camp still active. Zeratul chasing after Mikey. Don't land Singularity Spike. He's going to try to
Wait,
fly.
Vorpal now. He doesn't have it. You can Vorpal halfway through and get the damage off. I know, because Glorng has done it to me personally. He almost killed me with it.
Thank you for admitting that to us.
So this is going to be shots converted. With the flight down, Casanova can make this rotation, and no longer do we see the global advantage. Casanova's looking for the flank. Jason was kind of sniffed out. Urho is on the back line with them. Crow in here is going to have to find a way. Gets the teleport.
Cleanse, but Airho still body blocking him, trying to get the damage for the team. Tiger dives in, gets the kill. Crowan low too, being dotted down with this poison damage. Stormbolt from the side. Airho claims a kill on Li Ming, and No Tomorrow somehow, some way are doing it. They get 2 kills. Falstad still up in the top lane. But No Tomorrow gets to the temple.
I think that's very reasonable. I think that was a definite outplay on the side of No Tomorrow for that early skirmish there. But I also think it's very reasonable for them to lose these early game skirmishes when looking at their composition. It's when 10 comes online that I'm not as convinced on how well their composition is going to do. But Karazim, you know, Zeratul are one of the best kind of mid-gamers pre-10. heroes in the game. Tracer's another one of them. Illidan, anybody who can really chase and skirmish very, very well. But 10's online, so we'll see if they keep up that upward trend. Palm was the choice for Tiger JK.
Leaping Strike for Lunara. Really only things of note. Army of the Dead. Haven't seen any Syndragoses today. Haven't seen any this weekend. Every once in a while we get one, but not in this match.
This would be one of the better compositions that gave away with it, but it's one of the worst maps for Syndragosa. It's going to be a dash out by Tiger. Falset and Zeratul is still going to be the 1v1s. This is a 1-4 split for both teams. I hate being the Falset in this matchup so bad. As you can see why. He keeps the W up, which is really big.
He did go hammer gains over Static Shield.
Urho, not going to move in. He did. He went with the traditional auto attack build. It does make you weaker into the Zeratul in 1v1s and anytime he tries to all-in you. But realistically, I don't know. It's hard to say that because if the Zeratul has cooldowns, in theory he can counter the shielding faster than he can counter the hammer gains because he just teleports out, then Vorpal's back. But you at least force a Vorpal there, whereas you don't force the Vorpal when you go with the hammer gains into those 1v1s. And losing that Vorpal means sometimes your life post-Gus.
Yeah.
So that is a really big deal.
Temple's activating. It's a double Temple phase. Gale Force eSports trying to get their mercenary camps. Nice timings with those two. Even the giant camp was taken later than No Tomorrow, so that's being cleared out. No Tomorrow's trying to figure out where they want to fight. Falstad's in the bottom lane. So is Casanova.
Conveniently, Mikey Dahl can always find him. He's getting flanked right now by Jason, and they know it. There's going to be the first barrel roll. Urho quickly realizes that, forces the gust. He will get the flight before the Dwarf Toss Stormbolt.
All the way. The long con from Arrow, just a little bit too long. Falstad flies his way out. Casanova keeps a hold of the bottom temple, so a trade on the temples. Slight structure advantage for No Tomorrow, so a little bit better for them, but really very even game.
Yeah, there is really nothing separating these teams minus, you know, a trickle of experience and one kill. Structure health is almost going to be mirrored. Talents are going to be mirrored now as 13 is picked up.
Greater Spell Shield and Gloom to try to make sure that No Tomorrow can not enable Crowan to get his famed resets.
Yeah, that is really going to hinder his ability to dive. Even Spell Shield on Karazim. So
yeah.
all three of the members. Zeratul was the only one, I guess, out of the 4 targets that would be a kill target that did not go into Spell Shield.
You still got Mending Strikes.
Yeah, and so that is going to be a lot easier for Karazim to be able to heal up off that burst now, or should be able to with the Palm. Timing that around the damage taken. Gale Force is known to be invading this. Will the members make the rotation down fast enough? Equinox, you know, very overextended.
Can they force him to use Army here?
They can just force the fight, period.
There's Void Prison down. Equinox has to use Army. Airho, Casanova on him.
Oh,
dives in. Sanctification 2. Fan body blocks Zeratul. Palm hits. Twilight Dream procs it, but Murden still goes down.
Just enough damage there with the composition. Everybody pressing their R buttons, and Gale Force gets the first kill. They are not done, though. His fan has moved in. That got them about half a level over No Tomorrow here. But that is the only difference. And what that skirmish has been able to change, set the kills to dead even.
More importantly, though, it gives No Tomorrow their first taste of Sanct after Void Prison.
Yeah, and, you know, a bit of the taste of what this composition can do when they all press their R buttons at the same time. That was not pretty in terms of the, you know, timing and the synergy of everything. The Sanctification was decent as a stop to the Void, but past that point, you know, typically you want to use Army and Sanct a little bit more forward, not direct, unless it's going to be dropped into a Wombo. And even then, Gale Force didn't even pause. They were just, yep, one of you's dying. Even if you hit a Legendary Palm, doesn't matter. So they are going to have to approach their fight very different here. No tomorrow for this next one.
Agreed.
It's going to be a lot about vision. Good job by Fan finding Casanova.
Another temple phase. No tomorrow looks to want to fight over this one versus trading out yet again. But Gale Force eSports is getting closer and closer to 16. Casanova's flanking. He's looking for the right Void Prison. There's going to be 4 members. Can they keep Equinox out of this and take him down before he walks in? No, they cannot. Gust gets Equinox out of the terrible situation he was in.
And they still have Sanctification and Twilight Dream, so that was about the shortest cooldown they could spend there to be able to get that peel. No tomorrow, still miles behind in their ability to try and take this fight. 16 is now chosen for Gale Force as well. So No Tomorrow has to give this up.
And No Tomorrow fought over the temple that was controlled by Gale Force, which means, yes, Casanova can rotate to the bottom, but it's only a matter of time until Gale Force eSports finishes this temple and tries to look for the next one. They're cutting off Casanova's retreat to the back. Casanova uses his Singularity Spike to get out, and he's going to go back onto Michael Udall.
They get him! They got him! Through freak events, somehow they get the kill!
They want more, too. They spot Equinox. No Army of the Dead. Arrowhead body blocking. Stormbolt goes down, doesn't connect with them.
Jason's there with the frost shots, drops the strafe. Sanctification to be able to get the counter. Fan with a beautiful Holy Ground splitting that. Beautiful palm, though, before the Twilight Dream hits. Tiger get JK. What did he just do?
Equinox! Equinox is down. Akaface is too. No Tomorrow. Casanova was caught.
Oh, my. That palm.
Oh, yeah. Tiger JK was like, I hear you, Dread. I hear your criticisms. Here's a palm for you. Let's see it again.
My brain. Okay, so we already lost the fall set, so we'll just take a minute to appreciate the positioning of Tiger.
Yeah, Jason gets so caught once Fan goes for him.
Holy Ground. Just dashes over to the side, tries to get on top of him, drops the beautiful palm, and that wins him the fight.
Frost shot.
Wow, man. Meanwhile.
What just...
No.
No!
How did...
No! What just happened?
Guys, I need a status update. Hello?
No. Oh, man.
Okay, so I just... My frame of reference, correct me if I'm wrong, but so we started and they were doing fine.
Yeah, they just rectify. Okay, we're gonna have a replay of what happened during our replay. So No Tomorrow went for a boss. Okay. Fan has Holy Ground. Mike Udall gets chased away. They want to chase away the Gust.
There's no Sanct.
Here's
Gust is
Gust.
forced.
Trees takes him out.
Gets the 1v1.
Okay.
And then Tyrael dies up top. See, this makes
That was
a
a lot
lot
of
more
magic
sense.
missiles missing. Crowan gets taken out, but Fan's just chilling on the point. No one can get there. Jason gets taken out with the right. Gets a heal. Oh, Fan's the one who goes down. But a boss is stolen.
Shots converted. Not going to get a keep. I've just never come back to such a lost moment after a replay of my life. All right, so what do we know?
I feel like I don't know after the craziness of the last couple minutes, but we know the boss was stolen. No Tomorrow in the last team fight. They got a couple of picks once Gale Force eSports did claim the boss. So No Tomorrow are ahead in experience, 8 kills to 3. They're on their way to having 21st. They almost have a keep down, but so far structurally, no one has taken out a keep. Status update with Gilly.
Status update with Gilly.
Complete.
And so I'm trying to think about Gale Force hasn't won the last 2 skirmish. Well, they won one. The next one, I don't know if I count as a full fight. And that last one, obviously, with Palm, worked out. Can No Tomorrow win a full 5-on-5 post 20 into Gale Force's composition? And I'm still on the no side. I don't see them actually winning these fights. They have won a couple of them here and there, But a lot of those have been through staggered positioning misplays rather than, you know, okay, time's up, let's fight.
What do we have on either side? Double rewind, probably. Murden, Zeratul.
Yes, on Murden, definitely Zeratul. Murden, most likely.
What does Karazim get?
You go for Storm Shield, yeah. Or you go for Epiphany. Went for Storm Shield.
Death Siphon for Vala, maybe? Yeah. We're going after the keep. Keep confirmed. Air hoe zoning.
Team's gonna walk out. There's shots on top.
Tyrael's in the top. They know someone's there.
Yeah, so they're gonna go respond to him, which they should be looking to try and cut him off. Actually, Crowan went in. Nobody there to catch him out. So these shots are going to be looked to captured by No Tomorrow. Gale Force is still grasping for that 20. But with the front wall up here for Gale Force eSports, this will not be a keep.
Do you feel like No Tomorrow should be forcing this 20 more? Harder? Is there anything else they can really do than get the tempo?
No. See, that's like one of the weirdest things about Sky Temple is every time you have the advantage, you can be like, well, can't we be forcing this harder? And can, like, awkwardly enough, most of the time, no. The shots are the most effective strategy you can have unless you have a global with, like, an absurd lead. Can you make, you reach for double the objectives, right? It is very strange, but this is probably the biggest play No Tomorrow can have. The only thing they could have done, there is one counter argument, and that is you take out the front wall on top keep for free and mid keep wall, and then you take the shots. And that gives you the keeps. You enable everything to set up a keep. That's as good as it gets.
Ooh, that root casually grabbed a couple people for Crowan to start damaging. No Tomorrow are going to use this time to force, but they are only 20 advantage for a little bit longer. Can they take out this keep in time?
Tyrael's not there.
In.
Tyrael showing on bottom is what gives them this leeway, but he's now back, and 20's picked up. They're out.
Epic Mount Bolt for Twilight Dream. Temporal Flux for Slow Zone Disintegrate. Holy Arena! 1 second longer Sanctification and 25% more damage. And Anti-Magic Shell for Arthas.
Giant's got to be captured here for GFE. The boss is up. Both the teams hanging out around it.
Oh, man.
Have you ever seen a bigger buzzkill than talking trees after that pause? Seriously. We are, what is it? Our in-game timestamp right now is about 18 minutes in. This is, how is this going to end? I want to know. What are your thoughts? Who do you want to win? Hit me with that one.
No, I'm not allowed to have favorites.
Dude, let's be honest here. Everybody knows you have a preference in your heart. Just hit me with it.
I'm the biggest eSport fan, man. I love an underdog story. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to say I couldn't come up with one. You're like, I just can't say anything because I love eSports so much.
Yeah, I love everything.
I just wanted the competition.
I love an underdog story.
Okay.
I love Gale Force eSports too, but No Tomorrow have made it this far now.
I'm going to be honest. I'm the same way. Like, we talked a lot in the past that I've always felt like Gale Force was just always so close to hitting this power spike. And it was like, finally, maybe they were going to turn it online and be just a completely different team in part 2. And then now seeing, obviously, No Tomorrow made really good changes as well. I'm a little torn right now that we're minutes away from figuring out who's going to end up winning the series. But I'm with you. I'm not so much an underdog dude, but I am this team obviously is making changes and that should be rewarded in some way kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so that makes me really want to lean towards No Tomorrow, but it's always just, Gale Force is like this close. It's like, I can't just say no when they're that close to it. And honestly, I think no matter what, No Tomorrow walks away with this winner. Because if I'm Gale Force after today, I don't go mission accomplished, even if they win this.
Well, one thing to remember, though, for Gale Force, too, is we asked them if having to prepare for 2 opponents in one weekend, how much harder that was for them. And Crowan said it was way harder for them to have to prepare for both. They had to prepare for Superstars. Looking at standings, probably prepared for Superstars harder than they prepared for No Tomorrow. Yes, you can say, okay, No Tomorrow had a good showing versus Tempo Storm, but it was still a 0-3.
Yeah.
So you can look at that and say, okay, we probably should prepare for Superstars harder. And if that was an imbalanced amount of preparation, that could also be why we're seeing Gale Force falter just a little bit here in the series.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, you know, because you even brought it up to me. We were like, how much is that going to hurt them? And it's like, I mean, it will always make the games worse for a team that has to play 2 teams in one weekend. It just comes down to more of, the difference in play styles, how much they think should be committed. And obviously, you know, No Tomorrow, unless you went out of your way to really dissect their games from part 2 so far, you would just be like, I mean, it's a free win, right? If you're in Gale Force's shoes.
Yeah, No Tomorrow only had to prepare for one opponent, that is Gale Force eSports, and they had 2 series, unlike Superstars who only had 1, to try to figure out Gale Force strats. Obviously, one of the best things they could have done was take out Braxis Holdout. That's gotten them straight to the position that they're in now. I don't know who's going to win, but we have the game ready. Let's see who claims this series on Sky Temple. The stakes are so high right now.
Let's go. I'm ready. I don't want to speak about it anymore. I want to watch. Here we are. Back in it. Back of the action. That's about the 3rd time I feel like we need a context moment where we let everybody know.
Yeah, it's like status check. Okay, keeps. Okay, we see them now. And boss and 20s. Okay, we're ready to go.
Yeah, so TLDR is this game is infinite close in Game 5, and that's all you need to know.
That's a great way to sum it up.
All right, so the camp is going to be started by Vala and Karazim. That will put them in a spot to eventually be able to pick up the keep. Still is going to be Gale Force scouting around here. Conveniently dropping the scouting drone. They know they're not here. Do they start? They do!
As soon as the bruisers are capped. Air hose around. How fast can you get down? But man, Holy Ground and Gus. Air hose trying to flank way around from the side. All of Gale Force trying to run away from this boss situation.
Oh, Tiger JK's, he can dash out. He's going to be fine. They want to leash the boss. Oh! I blame trees, but it's Jason.
Well, it was Airho DC'd.
Oh, well, it's Urho, actually.
And he DC'd again.
It's his teammates pausing.
Oh, no. And that's not a great place to have to DC.
He's kind of a...
Here's the team.
All right, so yeah.
Here's Airho.
As you can see by my diagram, this is the team, and this is Urho right here. That's the difference between the two, as we can see. You can't see.
Not even a little bit.
Should have illustrated it. It's literally right in front of me, and I still just casually don't do it. Yeah, he is miles away. He will be back. He's already burned Avatar.
Yep. They
need the boss to leash. Talking Trees auto-attacked it one time with Lunara. The passive poison never let the boss leash, so it is sitting at 30% HP. Avatar's down. Everybody's in terrible position for No Tomorrow. And... worst of all, they have 0 boss control to compare to Gale Force.
Yeah, Holy Ground, even with Herodric reforging to make sure that it's up. Gust, too. I love the flank idea from Airho. It's the pure and simple problem that he is the one who DC'd. That's a little scary.
Yeah. Man, this is... I'm sad that it had to come down to this, where we have pauses, we've got replays on top of replays. We've got a little bit of everything.
All right, guys, we are going to take a break while we try to let Airho figure this out, but don't go anywhere because the conclusion to Game 5 after this.
The demon Asmodan had his ultimate victory within reach, until the opposing heroes dealt him a devastating defeat. Asmodan went back to the drawing board and rediscovered his love of the game. The Lord of Sin became the Lord of the Slam.
This is my house. Let's see if you've got game. Oh, there it is. Dude,
shocked to find that me and my friends are lost. Again! No one said it was your fault, Olaf. But if there's one thing we're good at, it's... Getting lost? No, Baylog, we're good at... Now what? Listen, I'm trying to say that if we stick together, there's no obstacle. Oh, no! Back up! Oh, no! Like I was saying, if we work as a team, the three of us, we can accomplish anything. Don't mess with the Vikings. That's right.
Oh, Eric, I gotta go remove that, please.
Now? Couldn't you have gone before we left?
Oh.
Welcome back to HGC North America, and thank you for your patience. We're still waiting for Airho to reconnect so that we can get back underway with game number 5 on Sky Temple. It's such a tense moment with no tomorrow. 2-2 tied up with Gale Force eSports.
And now significantly down in this game, just based on the circumstances we left. Airho all alone with not much supporting a boss that's being captured that they don't want to be captured. It's been a close series, but we only got to keep, it feels like a couple seconds left.
Yeah, it is understandable in this case why we want to make sure that everybody is completely good to go, because we're going to hop back into a super pivotal moment within the game. Now, during the break, we saw a little teaser for Hanamura, which is going to be out with the launch of Heroes 2.0, which happens on Tuesday. We're going to have a live stream with a ton of awesome events happening there, including Hanamura and Genji release even a new hero as well. It'll be announced during the live stream, so make sure you mark your calendars for that. That's going to be April 25th, Tuesday at 11 a.m. PDT. Dredd, I know you're involved with that. Pretty pumped.
Yeah, we're going to be casting, I believe it's a Hanamura show match that we're going to be going over. Best of 5, I think, is going to be the circumstances. But either way, it's a new map, professional play. It'll always be a good time. Me and Kaldor are going to be the ones casting that, so make sure that you guys check it out.
Very exciting. Even as part of this 2.0 excitement, there are giving away some mega bundles for heroes. So if you guys are looking to get some new heroes, if you're new to the game, first of all, welcome to the greatest game on earth. Second of all, check out our website, playheroes.com, because they are giving away some mega bundles of heroes. And, I mean, it's free stuff.
I mean, yeah. I want in. You know, sadly, I decided I would be the nerd who played in alpha and tried to buy all the heroes as fast as possible, but I made mistakes. Little did I know, one day, Heroes 2.0 would be here, and I would be stuck and be like, ah, no. Could have gotten those mega bundles. Think about the value. The
value is real. Max value.
Max value.
No, so exciting for Heroes 2.0. There is so much cool stuff. In 2.0, I'm a huge fan of the sprays. We have some stylized sprays that are super cute. New skins, too. New skin tents. Banners, which is awesome as well.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm most excited about. I really, 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 really enjoy the banners.
I know a lot of people have been pumped about Genji, too. Have you gotten to play him at all?
At the summit, I was able to play a little bit of Genji. He did feel, obviously, very high skill. Like, I mean, if you haven't played him, his shift, the dash, so very tiny.
Oh, yeah, his E-dash.
Yeah, his E-dash in-game star is shift in the original Overwatch, so I was trying to appeal to our Overwatch audience. Because I don't know the name of the spell.
Nicely done.
Bam! But either way, his dash is extremely thin, and that's the only way to really get much happening with him.
And Hanamura, too. We got to play some games on that. So beautiful.
It is really pretty.
It's kind of a crazy objective, though.
It is. It is hectic. Is the way I would put it.
Hectic is a great way to explain it.
Especially for a solo queue. Very early on, I feel like everybody's going to be like, where's my... Like, when Haunted Mines gets reworked every single time that you see the new version, everybody goes, like, just picnic so hard. No idea what's happening. Just like everything's on fire, running around with chicken. I feel like that's going to be Hanamura very early on.
Yeah, I like these show matches that are done. We had the same with Warhead Junction and Braxis Holdout, and it's really fun for me, even just as a viewer, to get to watch the teams figure it out as I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, look at this cool little thing that I could do. So look forward to that live stream. Again, make sure you mark your calendars. Let's talk once again about what is at stake for the match, because again, we're in game number 5. We're waiting for Airho to reconnect between No Tomorrow and Gale Force eSports. Gale Force eSports, they're looking to be at the top of the standings if they can. Mid-season brawl, it is so important that you top the standings, because first place in standings immediately gets an invite to mid-season brawl, but everyone else has to play in the playoffs, which goes 6th place versus 5th. The winner of that takes on the 4th place, so you want to be as high up as you can in standings, which is what Gale Force is looking for. But No Tomorrow, on the other side, it's Crucible talk.
Yeah, they're just trying to stay afloat and not risk that positioning. That's going to be the bottom 2. But yeah, if No Tomorrow is able to win this game, no matter how poor the circumstances may look right now, it puts them into a position to not only help the climb out of the Crucible, but I think more importantly, what it does to Gale Force eSports. If everything projects forward where Gale Force at most only loses the teammate after that point, it would just ensure that they are going to be one notch down onto the playoffs.
And this win over Gale Force eSports does put No Tomorrow back over Davidic for the first time, but it sounds like we are ready to get back into the game. The finale, hopefully, on Sky Temple. We'll see you inside.
Have you ever shot off a really big firework, but like a homemade one? Not homemade firework, but like one you bought at with your family? Because I feel like that's what's going to happen right now.
Void Prison is incredible. Now, Airho did
forces
not...
the gust. The boss reset! Oh my gosh, he got at least 3 times. It's full health.
Airho did not reconnect, but he had to go in pursuant to the rules. Twilight Dream, Sanctification 2. Muradin is hanging out in there. Jason trying to get the kill. They take out Li Ming. Casanova goes down. It's a 2 for 1, 2 for 2.
That is going to be even for now. Fan and Trees skirmishing and out here 3 seconds before the leaping strike is up, and that is the only way he might be able to make it out. Arthas is coming to make sure they put the Howling Blast. He'll
right
do
into
it.
the bush. Stops them. No more Talking Trees. A 3 for 3. Muradin left. Tiger JK left. Mercenary Camp in the top lane. Double Warriors. There is a double Temple phase.
I'll be honest, the firework link was mainly just, I was going to talk about, when you set off the big one and you get a dud, and you're just like, man, that was a lot of build-up for a whole lot of just what could have been a poor firecracker. But luckily it wasn't.
There were a lot of sparks right there.
There was a lot of things happening. I thought for sure it would just be like, and the game that we've been building up for 5 minutes is just over. But no. Still moments alive. Shots are going to be traded. No Tomorrow pulls ahead because, again, with the keep and structure advantage that they have, it's in their interest. And Tiger JK is doing a good job stalling. He has burnt his Storm Shield, though. Yeah,
this is a weird spot, too, because up to this point, Gale Force eSports have been nice to the Muradin bot.
Is he seriously going to get solo?
Army of the Dead. Tiger JK, the legend. Muradin bot.
He's
gets
back.
rooted.
Muradin bot's a real MVP.
He's going in.
Okay, so let's give a shout out to... We've seen bots play competitive games before based on ruling. What those rulings are most of the time is if you take so long for something to happen that...
It's 10 minutes.
10 minutes here, other tournaments it can be a bit longer, then essentially they're going to go in. They're going to try and all in the core, just knowing that without the Muradin. But either way, bots have played in the past. In Uther and ETC bot have actually won games for teams single-handedly.
There's a gust on the strafe, pushing him back. Muradin bot chilling out. They are starting to damage him.
No way!
Okay, so Malfurion is down. All the keeps, almost all the keeps are down on either side. There's one left that's starting to get shots. Tiger JK holding on to the last few shots of that will confirm the keep. No Tomorrow up a keep, playing with the bot.
Dude.
Also, shout out to Gale Force eSports because they are playing this. They're being very nice about this.
Yes, that is true. Because in theory, Gale Force eSports could walk away with just being like, no, I think that's the end of it. I actually don't know the fine rules of that, but either way, the fact that they're willing to even entertain the thought. Because a lot of people, what you don't understand is being Gale Force eSports, you do not win the series. No matter what. Now, winning against No Tomorrow here would just be like, well, you should have done that earlier, faster, and you only did it because there was a bot.
They're not focusing the bot. They're making sure they're focusing the other players, and then, and that's very sportsmanlike. So great job, Gale Force. No Tomorrow doing the best.
But still, it's Murdenbot. You got it. You know, it feels just so crazy, the fact that they even managed to not throw on top of that boss after how out of position Murdenbot was. But they're going to try. Gale Force is sitting around.
Do No Tomorrow even feel like they can contest a boss?
I mean, they did the last time and it worked out. I don't think they want to risk it, though, is based on the fact that they just have all those keeps up. It's in their best interest to not risk a boss fight. I've seen this happen, actually, just only a few seconds ago, earlier. The boss has now been scouted. Casanova knows it's low.
This rotation is pretty slow after getting the bruisers. Last time we had Airhope flank to make sure that not everyone was hit by the gust. That's not the possibility now. Void was in the by time. Casanova jumps in, strafe on the back line. Twilight Dream, it does go down, but look at the back line, it's so low!
And there's still, the boss just now died, so they've already got 2 pills.
But Jason!
Oh my gosh!
Jason's on the point, Tiger jumps back in!
He's still got the palm too, so Jason will be able to survive this. There it goes, the palm's proc, the Holy Ground splits, but with 2 members dead, they should be able to just end. Murdenbot didn't sniff out Akaface though. Tiger JK needs a dash. They can go for core right now.
They're just taking out Equinox.
They won. They did it.
Holy cow.
Can they? There's no way.
Fan's gonna try to Holy Crown people where he can away. He's going after Jason, but Casanova's just straight on core. There's a whole mercenary camp. No Tomorrow just took out Gale Force eSports.
After I just don't have words.
I don't have words either.
It just, what?
Huge congrats to No Tomorrow, first of all.
All right. You go ahead and throw out that piece.
Just huge congrats to them. No Tomorrow sits at the bottom of the standings for North America, and they just took out Gale Force eSports. They played their hearts out. They've been playing their hearts out, part 2. We question their consistency. They've just shown us how consistent they can be.
I completely agree. And I'm not going to be the guy who kind of, ruins the dreams afterwards. Obviously, I would put nothing but high praise, but I do feel like one is up here have to be the guy that goes, the amount of respect for the sportsmanship that happens out of Gale Force eSports to be like, you know what, we're not only going to play this out, whether that be the rules or not, but they weren't going out of their way to be like, we're going to take what is going to be a free win. Because if you've never played against a bot, it's pretty easy to bait them, and pros would just blow it up and be like, all right, thanks for the 5 versus 4. This is a free win. Somebody has to be that guy, because Gale Force legitimately, the minute Urho DCs, no matter what happens past that point, even if when he came back and he was out of position, he dies, Gale Force eSports, from a community perspective, would gain no respect. And somebody, I feel like, has to be like, you don't, like, because I've been the guy playing against a bot. I have been. I lost to Cloud9 a game to a bot, and you like knowing just willing to try and play it out and not be disrespectful to your opponent, and understanding that it could mean you don't win a series, deserves a lot more credit than it would at first.
Yeah, which is why we also mentioned it during the game.
Yeah.
We could spot it right away. So amazing job from both teams. Such an unfortunate issue at the end, but great sportsmanship from Gale Force eSports. They deserve a ton of credit. But even to get to the point that they were in, so does No Tomorrow. They took Gale Force eSports all the way to that point on Sky Temple. We have Casanova. We have to dissect this series. Hey, Casanova, congratulations! How are you guys feeling?
Really hyped. I'm shaking like a ton right now. Like that series was insane.
So, okay, talk to us about your preparation for Gale Force eSports. You knew that this was your only opponent this weekend. What were you guys' main goals coming into the series?
We had like our 2 main strategies against them. It was like on heavy macro maps, we wanted to keep them off of globals, which we kept doing with the false dead bans. But on Sky Temple, we knew we didn't have that luxury because we had to ban Tassadar. So we just like YOLO'd on the Zera, just like do what we can to beat it, and it ended up working out even with, the MVP Murden bot. And then the other one was the double healer strategy. We just wanted to make sure we played the macro game with Dahaka, and we were able to pull it off.
yeah, you were able to pull off beating Gale Force eSports in those strategies where no one's been able to. You guys are the first ones to take a game off of them, let alone a series. Dread, do you have any questions for Casanova?
I mean, I've just got nothing but high praise for the group. You know, the changes that you guys have made as a group of players, and just want to commend you, obviously being one of the youngest members on this roster, for what you guys have been able to do. I honestly don't even have any questions. I'm still trying to gather myself after what I just experienced, but I just wanted to say it's amazing to see what you guys have done from part 1 and going into part 2, and I hope it keeps going.
Thank you. I mean, it's been a long road right now, moving from where we were playing last half to now, and everything feels a lot better. We're working a lot better as a unit, and overall the environment is much better. So it's only can go even more up from here. So
that's awesome.
Casanova, what does it mean for you as a player? I know you put so much on hold to be here. You had a really rough part 1, and now you guys are finally making changes and making waves.
Yeah, I put my life, my heart and soul into esports. I'm all I can say is I'm so happy that we're not just like losing every time anymore. Like, these are good games. I feel like we're improving. I mean, I won't stop until I'm at the top, though. I just want to keep going. I want to get, next split maybe, because we've got, a long way to go for first place here, but at least we could maybe make it through playoffs. That's the goal.
All right, well, do you have any shout outs before we let you go?
Yeah, I just need to shout out my team because, like, everyone played like gods. Shout out to Murid Bot for sure. He helped us out in that one. And shout outs to our manager, Chrissy Flower. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all we got right now.
Great. Congratulations. Good luck versus B-Step next week.
Thank you.
Can you believe we have another series?
No, actually, I can't. That had about enough, not only action, tense games, draft innovation, and drama to really sum up maybe an entire